Hello and welcome to part 10 of the Melrose vest. Our last one, you're almost there. So at this stage you have now done both armholes of your, the armbands of the Melrose vest, and the only thing left to do is to tie it together, is the side seams. Sorry, let me just show you here. The side seams like this to be put together. You can see I've left my tails on here. I like to leave the tails till the end because I'm simply going to use the seam that I'll make to then hide the ends in. So it's much easier this way. Just wanted to sort of show you what it looks like. I've already seamed the other side, so I don't know if you can see, but this is my armband here, and I have now sewn the other side of the vest. So let me just open it up for you here, and you can see that it's a nice discreet seam. You can't really see, it's not like you're going to see a big line or anything. It's not also completely invisible. I don't know if you can really see it. You can see where the seam is. If I hold the hem here, you can see it's a bit more pronounced right at the hem, and then it does carry on, but as I said, it's quite discreet. It's just not completely invisible simply because the pattern doesn't quite follow through. It's not meant to be, so don't worry about it. Again, that's going to be at the side seam, so no one's really going to see it, but I'm going to show you how to get a nice sort of even seam that you can't, that is just not really easy to see. Looks nice and neat, and on the, you can see it there again, up here, and on the reverse, this is what it looks like. You again just have a nice even seam all the way along. Now I'm using quite a chunky, mine is actually more like an Aran yarn, so the seam looks a bit more chunky than probably you will get when you use a double knit. I just only had Aran in those beautiful natural colours, but it's lovely. It's a nice seam and it's really easy to do, so I'm going to show you how to do this, and it will also cover how to seam in reverse stitch in case you have been waiting to seam the neckband as well. So I've got my needle and my yarn. We're not going to see the yarn in your seam, so just use whatever you've got left over. I'm using my main colour simply because I had loads of it left, but you can use any colour you have. So line up your seam. You can't see because my zoom is too strong, but there you go. This is my hem there, so I'm going to work on the right side. We're going to start at the hem and seam all the way up to the armband. I'm only going to cover the hem part and then a little bit of the colour work part, and you can finish the rest on your own. But the important thing to notice here is you are always going to have a nice clean edge to the left. That's simply because this was our starting edge of the fabric, the one where our first stitch remained on our hook the whole time. So this is, this gave us a really nice straight edge, where we got this sort of like slightly bumpy edge there on the other side. It's really not a problem because we're going to sew on this side. We're going to sew just that little bit in so that this doesn't this doesn't show up. So I'm just using regular mattress stitch that you might have used in knitting or crochet. So I'm going to start with the hem. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see. There you go. Hopefully you can see better here. Okay, so with I've just got a piece. It's not attached to the ball and it's not attached to the garment. I like to get a separate piece, for that. And I'm going to go from underneath, only at the start, and I go right over the cast on. I choose, this is the side with the bumps. This is the side that doesn't look so good at the start. And I know that I'm pretty much going to work about here, where it still will give me a nice straight edge. So I go from underneath and pretty much right under where I want to be sewing up, from underneath and just over the cast on, over my foundation chains. I'll leave a tail there, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. The other side is the nice neat side, so I can go closer there. I think I'm on the other side. When I did the other side seam, I always stayed just to the right of those 2 stitches there. So I just sort of seamed, right here. You can seam a bit further in. It doesn't really matter. What matters for a good seam is to try to keep to the same place every time. So if you decide that you're going to seam, here, it's better to keep straight than start going sort of, out and in and out and in. That's what will give you a seam that doesn't look very good. So whatever you choose at the start, stick with it. So this one I'm going to go again just from underneath, right in the corner there. I've got my foundation chain. You should have a wee corner here, and just pull a little bit. And I'm not tightening them. They just stay like this. Now, like regular mattress stitch, I'm going to go to the other side, and in reverse stitch you've got those big bumps there. Each row of reverse stitch is giving you some bumps there. So I'm going to go just simply under one bump, pull, and again I'm not tightening it, and then I'm going to go and do the same under the first bump on the other side here. I'm not tightening up just yet. Then I'm going to do the same and go under the bump on the other side. And again. Just make sure you don't split any yarn, because mattress stitch is easy to work. The only thing is make sure that your needle is not too sharp. And if you've only got a sharp needle with you, just really make sure you don't split the yarn. And I'm going under the last row, the last row of my reverse stitch hem. And once that's done, now I'm going to tug it. So simply take both ends and just pull. I pull mostly with the top one, and that's it. This is how you seam the hem just there. Leave that tail there, leave a little bit. You'll need that at the end just to tidy that little bit there. But that's your hem done, and that's your reverse stitch done. It will just look like this, at the end. It sort of like comes together nicely. So now the color work part. This is really where the fun is, and it's actually really easy. All we're going to do, if you've done it right, you should have always used the colors in the very same order. So we're going to go by bands of colors. So basically by every time we've used a color. So you can see here, this is my dark brown, then that's followed by a band of white, then followed by a band of light brown, then we go back into the white, because the white is my main color, and then again dark brown, then white, then light brown. And we're going to this is where we're going to go. We're not going to go under 2 rungs of a ladder or anything like knitting. This time we're just going to go by bars of colors. So I'm just going to go under the first one, under my light brown color, dark brown color. So there, and I'm not tightening, and I'm going to go and do the same on the other side. So under the dark brown, You're always going to take the same colours. Now I'm going under the white, and here under the white. Then my next row was done in light brown, so I go under the light brown, and again under the light brown. That way you know that you're always keeping it to exactly the same level. You can see I haven't tightened anything yet. I'm going to tighten. I do about an inch or so, then tighten. So when you tighten, try to pull as much as you can on the top, and pull until you can't pull anymore. And you see it's gathered it. And now we just gathered them at the start there. To restart, if you know, now we need to go, our yarn comes from my left side here, so I need to go and work on the right hand side, and I can always move this a little if I want to check where my yarn is. You can just slacken that first one, loosen up that first one there, and now I can see I need to go under the white on that side, under the white on this side. Just going to go here. There we go. Then under the dark brown on this side, and same on this side. So again, just keep taking the same colour on both sides. I'm back on my white, and I'll do again here, back on my white. And then once you've done a few, then we tighten. So just hold it here and then tighten up. And literally tighten, as much as you can. Try to pull close to the fabric so that you're not going to break your yarn. Don't pull back there. You might then break your yarn, and that's going to be quite annoying. But you see that, and then just sort of pull it all back into tension, and you can see that we've got, we get a nice sort of even. It feels quite flat. It's quite flat at the top, and you're just going to keep doing this until you've joined the whole seam there, and come back to the armband in reverse stitch. And you're going to do the same as the hem there. You'll just take the bump with the with the bump and all the way to the end, and then once you're done, you will then have your only your ends to weave in, and you'll have a nice seam. You can see the seam at the back here. That's the seam there, so you can use that to weave your ends in. It's much easier to do it this way. So that's it. Enjoy doing your side seam, and then weave your ends into all of your seams, and enjoy wearing your Melrose vest. Well done, you've done it all.